It's going to be some positive and powerful changes, even some luck when it comes to money, work, and career matters this month ahead. Surrender, release, and let go to God. Spiritually awaken. So new animals are going to come into your life that are fated and destined. You may come into money in the 6 months that follows. It allows you to completely eliminate a debt. Love endures, or love lasts, or love is hard. It's two sides of the same coin. You could meet somebody. It could feel very soulmatey. It could feel like twin flamey. Hello, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is March 2026 horoscope. We're going to go through it week by week, but know this, it's going to be some positive and powerful changes, even some luck when it comes to money, work, and career matters this month ahead. Plus a total blood moon eclipse in the sign of Virgo that's going to really light up a very profound part of your sky that's a deeply spiritual activation. So welcome to this video where we're going to, for the next 30 odd minutes, talk about your sky in 2026 March. My name is Lori Lothian. I am your astrologer. This is a Western tropical zodiac, and we are using whole sign houses. So please try casting your chart in whole sign houses, which is what all of us astrologers are using here on YouTube to delineate your sky for you. All right, I have a terrible head cold and I'm in really rough shape. Coming back from a full WestJet flight from Mexico. I can barely not breathe. Be kind, people, be kind. Let you know I'm not doing well, but the show must go on. These videos are due on the weekend, and I'm recording this on Wednesday, February the something. Okay, so we're going to go through it. I know a lot of you asked me about how do I delineate sun, moon, and rising? What's the difference? So let's do that first. Then we're going to go ahead and show you the sky and go through it week by week. I will be blowing my nose. I will be sneezing. I will be gasping for air. And I'm still working for you. So do help me out here by liking and subscribing. If you would like to get my 2026 All Signs bundle, by the way, individual and all signs to time your best life. Astrology is a map of time. That information is below in my description box, as well as my Divine Timing Masterclass, mid-April, mid-May, somewhere there. I'm teaching it, advanced astrology timing tools, 4-week class. Check it out below. All right, March. This is the sky. This is March 2nd. We're going to go through this week by week. We're going to take it slow and easy. Get a pen, get a paper, get a napkin handy when you need to blow your nose. And let's say March is the story. The big story is a full moon eclipse. It's a blood moon in Virgo. But before we hit that story, and we're into March the 2nd, the first major event will be Mars heading into a stay that's going to last until April the 9th in the sign of Pisces. Now, Mars is in his joy here. It's called the house of his joy. This can indicate, for example, that there's going to be a lot of work and you're going to be working with some kind of passion, ardor, and strength. You're going to plowing through the work, whatever the job work thing is that you do. Mars is in a house that's called the house of sickness. Be careful for fever, heat, inflammation, and injuries to your feet, in particular in Pisces. That's another thing to watch out for. And when Mars is here, sometimes there's conflict and chaos in your workplace. And you might find yourself having conflicts with the boss, with the colleagues, the coworkers, the employees. Sometimes people get fired. Some people leave. You might leave. You might get fired. It's just kind of like the cutting, severing, ending work situation. Sometimes it means a move. Mars is like the god of going places. And he may, as he exalts your 4th house, mean that in March, you're going to move. You're going to move into a new place. You're going to move your home to somewhere new. Good news is that it's a positive stellium with Venus, and therefore anywhere between March the 2nd and March the 6th, these moves are highly blessed. And I think I like this for you as well. Not only does Mars exalt the 4th house, but he's activating Juno, the goddess of agreement, and marriage. So it could be moving for marriage, moving for a deeper connection to another person, moving to a rental property. You see, we're activating rental property agreements. So, renting your home out or moving into a rental. These are stories that may be emerging in the month of March through to April the 9th. Now, we're going to talk about Mars more often as we go through this month because Mars is going to activate many stories. But let's start off with the eclipse. Before I do, I need to get Kleenex to blow my nose. I know, I should have had it handy. I've been blowing my nose all day. Oh, there's no way I'm going to get through my patron meeting today. That's going to have to reschedule. She just realized that he's not going to be able to stay awake till 4 o'clock Pacific time. I have done this YouTube shit, excuse my language now, since 2019, and I've never ever had to record through a head cold like this because I'm up against deadlines because I took a week off. So please be kind. I say kind because people are so, you should not blow your nose or sneeze when you're on camera. Like I get kinds of stuff like that. I think people get a grip, get a grip. Okay. Please get a grip. All right. Eclipse. It's going to be Virgo. It's going to be total. It's going to be blood moon, and it's going to be relatively rare. The last time we had these kinds of eclipses in general, okay, we're going to go back in time. In Virgo South Node eclipses was back in fall of 2006, all of 2007 into spring of 2008. So compare notes in a minute. However, in March of 2025, September of 2025, we had some Virgo eclipses as well. Not total, not lunar. This like intensity here with a stellium across the way is what makes us so special. Look at that barbell across the way. It is going to be an eclipse in your 12th house. It's not the kind of eclipse that's going to rock your outer world. It's going to take you on an inner journey. It is going to be about your soul. It can mean you're going to let go of addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits, surrender, release, and let go to God, spiritually awaken. It could align you with a whole new path of work. It could open you up to divine and mystical remembrances of past lives. It could activate your dreams at night and bring breakthrough dreams. But it's not just about March the 3rd. It indicates an axis of change between the 12th house and the 6th house, ruled by Mercury in your 6th house. 6th house Mercury is in the house of health, sickness, stuff, work, pets, and rentals. It seems destined change connected all of those themes that I just mentioned to you. For some of you, I'm not kidding you, it could be even leading you to think, forget dogs and cats, because it could bring you domestic animals. Some of you guys might want horses and donkeys out of this, the big ones too. So new animals are going to come into your life that are fated and destined over the course of what? Up to a month before and up to 6 months after the eclipse. Often 90 days is all you need to get the lay of the land. So there's change here. Now, if you have any situation where you have financial debt, you owe money with Venus exalted in the 6th house of debts, owning shock and awe Uranus in the house of chunky money, you may come into money in the 6 months that follows. It allows you to completely eliminate a debt. Now, this money can take many different forms, including the sale of a property, the elimination of a mortgage, the pay down of a credit card, someone who owed you money in the past paying you back. But debt elimination could factor into the story in the course of the next 6 months. Because of Mars's involvement and Venus, this also could be inheritance money from the family of origin, from a cognitively frail elder person in your family. I don't know. Pick a grandparent if you like, or a great grandparent, but somebody could die. Someone could pass money on in the next 6 months. This is not going to be true for many of you, but for some of you, it could be true. And if you are seeking spiritual awakening and illumination, and you want to break free of the matrix and the prison of your mind, you can do that. This is one of those kinds of eclipses because of where Uranus is sitting that could shatter the illusion of an individual self that's not connected to everything. And it could break you free of the mind, the prison of your egoic identity. For those of you thinking that enlightenment is an idea, this is something you could go for. I'll be doing a deeper dive into this eclipse when it's closer to the video coming out, and we'll talk about the asteroids and more, the Sabian. So stay tuned for that. That's why liking and subscribing is a good idea. I'm not even sure I told you about my promotions. I'm so out of it, but my All Signs bundle, did I talk about it? My Divine Timing Masterclass. There's things I'm doing. You might want to check it out in my description box below. Now, let's take a break from the eclipse for a second. But just before we do, I know people are afraid of them, and you might be going, I don't want more change. I get a lot of people in comments talking about how afraid they are. Okay, this is just fated, destined circumstances in the matrix, right? You're in a freaking simulation, guys. This is a video game. This isn't real. All right. It's like you're watching a movie and you forgot you're on the seat in the theater watching the movie. You forgot that you're not the character on the screen. You're the one watching the screen. Trust me on this. So that aside, this is not a negative eclipse because Jupiter is in a flow to the north node and to the south node, right? Like that. And that indicates that this eclipse on March 3rd, okay, it's on March the 3rd. at 12 or 13 degrees here of Virgo is not something to be afraid of. But I will bring you this. You can have some major changes in your career space. Jupiter's been blessing you here since last summer. Finishes up at the end of June. He's retrograde. This takes him back to things that were going on in your career space in August. He's in the August zone of 15 degrees last year. And this could be a fated, destined change point in career. And if you're making changes in career, because this is a work house, it's going to activate money, work, and career, kaboom, and change. Away from the enlightenment stuff for a minute. It's positive change, but it connects you back to the past. 2 retrograde planets are involved. And so especially go back to last August, maybe early September. What were you thinking August and September of doing regarding career opportunities and changes or amplitude of success? And now you're going to go into an eclipse that activates that whole theme. And so I would suggest that in the 90 days after this eclipse, you're going to see an escalation of career success in some fundamental way. When we look at the energy of March the 3rd to the 5th, so overlapping this eclipse, even the 2nd to the 5th, Venus will sextile Uranus. You'll see on the day of the eclipse, she's in that sextile already and will be so 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The energy of Venus sextiling Uranus is a happy surprise. This is a chunky money house. You could come into, again, a raise, a promotion, a job perk, exaltation Venus, chunks of money, tax rebate, insurance payout. You're not making the money on your paycheck. Some other money source, unexpected debt repayment. Someone owes you money and you get the money back. See how I'm pointing at the 2 houses there, right? Venus is involved. She's exalted. She's the Lord of your sign. She's going to do her best to bring you good directions. You could have a shocking or surprising, unexpected development regarding a pet or a rental property, but it's positive because it's a sextile. So don't worry about that part of it. If you want to get a pet, and some of you may, this could propel you to that, you'll see Venus will give you a surprising opportunity for an animal. All that Pisces could be a rescue animal or a stray, okay? Charitability is on the menu here. Okay, or a pet from a foreign country that may also be a rescue. When we move forward into the next story, and we're talking about March the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, Sun trines Jupiter. It's the first lucky break of a 3 Jupiter luck strikes that are going to happen. So watch what I'm talking about for a minute. We'll all look at Jupiter and the Sun, Sun 14, Jupiter 15. You start to feel this building around the 3rd, 4th, 5th of the month. It's pretty exact on the 5th. Golden opportunities in your career relative to your work, employment, employee, employer structures. And it's connected to Jupiter retrograde, so it still takes you back to August. Some things were going on in August that now are more ready to fulfill themselves, especially because Jupiter will move direct on March the 11th. So this is going to open up a golden opportunity. The Sun is a ruler of the career gains house, and so you could have a raise, a promotion, a bit of celebrity, a chance to shine as an employee, a chance to sparkle as an employer. Not a bad time to hire somebody new if you're an employer and add them to your roster because you'll bring in the right person under this gorgeous influence in the sky at this time. On March the 7th, Mercury will be in the heart of the Sun while Venus will conjunct Neptune. Mercury in the heart of the Sun on the 7th will be a Cazimi day. Come to my free Mercury Cazimi webinar in the description box below. You can see where the sign up link is. And if you are aware that there's a Cazimi in the workhouse, this is a good day to apply for a job, take the interview, ask for a raise, ask for a promotion. It's all about a good day for initiatives of communications connected to work in your life, if professionally, if you have a job. This is also a good day to refinance, pay a debt, structure a mortgage, redo a loan, something like that. This is also a really good day to buy a pet. This is also a good day, March the 7th, to get your health results or take your health tests. Now, when you do have such an intense energy here with Mars and North Node, a lot of things are pretty well fated and destined with the North Node, yet at the same time, there's an oasis of goodness on the 7th, and there's a little window of 6 hours that are very magical. Come take the webinar and learn how to use that magical window. One thing you'll notice that as this Cazimi is happening, we are forming a beautiful water trine in the sky. This can be very favorable for you. when it comes to matters of the work, money, and career. But be a little careful if you're going to sign a contract, which you may under the sky want to do. Where you need to be careful is the fine print. All right, you can't necessarily see the fine print properly. Mercury's got a little issue there. So get an extra pair of eyes on contractual agreements that you might be tempted to make. And that includes rental agreements under the sky, as well as work and career agreements. And we're talking about March the 7th. OMG. I need to breathe. I have not had a head cold in years. And where am I? We're going to move away from this story, but before we do, notice that Venus will have moved into Aries on the 6th of March and stays until the 30th of March. Her long stay here is going to activate your significant long-term relationship house, and she's going to be bonifying your partner, meaning that whoever you're with, if you have a relationship, will have a good streak of luck or beauty or good things happening in their life. And Venus will also, as she enters into this part of your chart, especially with Saturn, it means love endures or love lasts or love is hard. Now, it's two sides of the same coin. You might feel like the commitment in an existing relationship feels difficult, or you might feel like you've got the grit to continue working on it. Either one is true. If you don't have an existing relationship, and don't forget Venus is here for the rest of March, after the 6th of March, and breathe, then you're going to find that you could meet somebody. It could feel very soulmatey. It could feel like twin flamey, but also with Saturn karmic, but with Saturn, maybe a significant person, age difference, younger or older by 6, 7+ years. Okay. So if you're single and you meet somebody under this, it could be a new long-term committed love relationship wants to start forming here under the energy of the sky. And you could also look at the Venus-Neptune story, and it has in a 7th house or 5th house, Venus-Neptune is soulmate energy or higher love or divine love. Venus, so, is exiled. Saturn is fallen. So be careful. Because you might not see everything clearly. You will be able to see clearly later on in the month. Okay. And I'll tell you when. So in new relationships at this point, I will say, tread carefully, expect more clarity and knowing if this is a true and worthwhile relationship later on in the month. I'll give you that date, but it takes you to the 21st onward. Then you'll know if this potential love story is clear or good or right. As Venus enters into the 7th house, you'll notice that she's also going to form a sextile to Pluto, which is a wealth yoga. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you're looking at it. This could be some good fortune financially, including winning money. And that would be a nice little touch for you around March the 6th, 7th. And it can also look like, as she's moving forward, we're going to get more diving into that because she's more exactly in the wealth yoga around March 9th and 10th. Around March 9th and 10th, it could look like something to do with romantic love and unearthing secrets or hidden things in long-term committed love and romance. On the other hand, this can be the power of love and the transformation that happens in long-term love relationships when we go deep into the more vulnerable and transformative, regenerative, and cathartic parts of relationship. Oh. Getting worse as the day goes on. Okay. Well, let's keep on keeping on. When Venus and Saturn are conjoined, I said love endures, love is hard. But the sextile to Pluto can be regenerative and transformative of love. And so if you've already had a love story and this felt difficult, this can also transform that, rejuvenate it, regenerate it like a phoenix rising. Love is rising up for you. Things are moving forward. Something good is trying to happen in sex, love, and romance. And this is again March 8th and 9th. On March 9th and 10th, Venus I did that. Sorry, March 8th to the 10th, Venus sextiles Pluto. On March 8th and 9th, Mercury will trine Jupiter, just like the sun did on the 4th and the 5th. This is good news, okay? Mercury trines Jupiter, as you see right here, on March 8th. Because Jupiter's retrograde, it can relate to matters connected to career that go back to last summer, especially August, maybe early September. And so now there's good news, both planets retrograde, connected to past opportunities or past negotiations or past considerations around career, work, and all of that, including employers employing people and employment opportunities arising for you that are destined, fated, and exciting. Whether you're the boss employing people or you're the one being employed, the energy is extremely positive. And so we're just going to call it some good news connected to things from the past coming through for you around March 8th and 9th. Then the wealth yoga or the transformation in love is another way of putting it. I think it's more like the power of love, regenerative and rebirthing one's energetics in love and romance. That comes right after that on the 9th and the 10th. On March 14th to the 20th, Mercury will conjunct Mars. Mercury and Mars conjunct is a information conversation news story that may involve intensity, passion, or difficulty. Because it happens to occur in a work employment type of house or in a health house, there could be some information or news about your health, for example. And Mars rules surgery. So biopsies, punctures, anything to do with breaking skin. So there may be something going on here where you say, so your doctor says, you want to do a biopsy or something. Don't be freaked out. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Jupiter's trining it, meaning it should all work out. But be aware that there's something like a little sharp and edgy here on March the 15th that could involve something to do with health. It could involve something to do with your work environment. And the trine from Jupiter is trying to smooth it out. Jupiter is direct on March the 11th. This is happening on March the 15th. I can't take meds, guys. You say, why don't you just take a decongestion? I can't. It's a long story. A lot of reasons. Some of my autoimmune conditions. So I'm just doing my best. Okay, so this story here could mean a fight in the office, a screaming match in the office, employer-employee fracturing conversations. I quit. Okay. Or I fire you or you're fired. Watch out for that energy. If that happens, you're fired, someone's fired, you quit, they quit. The boss screams at everybody, fine. It's deeper than that. The North Node is here. It's destined change. Destined change is happening March 15th in relationship to work or health matters for most of you. Pretty intense. With the North Node, it makes it like really rare. But the flow from Jupiter tells us that the long-term solution, the long-term game is positive. In the long term, whatever is happening benefits you professionally and in your reputation and in your work and in your health and in your money, because Mars rules your income. March the 17th to the 19th, the sun sextiles Uranus. We saw this earlier. We saw the same story with Venus on March the 3rd, 4th, 5th. Now we have the sun who illuminates things, doing that from the 17th to the 19th. And the sun in the sextile to Uranus is a breakthrough, break free, or surprise financially, most likely connected to debts and work right here. And you're going to really feel it picking up intensity on the 17th to the 19th right here. And because we have a balsamic moon, some of you might be getting ready to leave a job, quit a work, leave a line of work, but you might be getting money like a severance package, for example, or some kind of financial buyout if you're leaving a particular work or job situation. On March the 18th, we have a Pisces new moon, and it is with the North Node. And it's sextiling Juno, and it activates a mini grand trine. On March the 18th, let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So new moon, 28 degrees of Pisces, will have a little triangle that flows to Uranus and the chunky money on a well star algo, surprises or unexpected developments or breakthroughs, to Juno in the 4th house. Now, 4th house is legacy wealth. What do I mean? It means like mom, dad, granddad, grandparents, up the line. We have an elder in the setting place, which is one of the death houses, Saturn, the elder. This would be an old person with a little mental confusion, maybe. Could be female, doesn't have to be. So an eldering female relative may be getting ready to leave the planet. And if that would be the case, and it could also involve, no, we'll just stick with that. Then there is something about you and inheritances and contractual agreements, all right, that's showing up on the new moon on the 18th. All new moons take time to unfold. You'll notice the lay of the land a couple of days before, up to 2 to 3 weeks later. But in the deeper sense, all lunations are 6 months stories. So in the 6 months that follows, I'm saying you might come into some inheritance money from an eldering family member of your family line. Also, this is destined and fated, and an amplitude is high. And Mercury says news or information that's going to come your way off of this moon. Maybe the person isn't dying. Maybe you just find out you're in their trust account, or they're going to do a, transfer money to you before they pass away. I just don't know, but something like that could happen. You could have a financial breakthrough of some kind, and it may connect to debts, and it may connect to work. Either or all of those are true off of this new moon. With Jupiter owning the moon, and he's direct, exalted in the 10th house, the new moon does open up doors of new money, career, earnings, work, employment, job, success over the course of the 6 months that follow. But look more closely to 2 to 3 weeks after the 18th of March for clues that this is true, that this is the direction this moon is taking you. On the 18th, there is an opportunity that needs to be acted on, like strike when the iron is hot, seize the day, Venus squares Jupiter. You can't just let it lie. You have to activate that. See that Jupiter-Venus square? It's kind of like, well, there's a lot of things it could mean. There's going to be a contractual agreement opportunity connected to work. You should seize the day. Venus is a lord of your sign. She's got your back. Could also be something going on in the life of a significant marriage partner that equals prosperity from home, or from home. If you're with someone and you're married, or with them in a significant, committed, long-term love relationship, then they might have a sort of opportunity connected to prosperity in and from their home, or from home, land, property, real estate, and family of origin. They may also have an opportunity to sign a new work job contract. We're talking about your significant other, if you have one. All right. Somebody in your significant other's family of origin, like a parent, could be offering up a huge amount of financial support to your spouse in some fundamental way, if you have a spouse. All right. Now, Mars will trine Jupiter on the 21st of the month. This is going to be just the same kind of good luck that you felt earlier when the Sun trined Jupiter. And also that was in March 4th and 5th, 3rd and 4th and 5th. And you felt the same beautiful love in the good news transit, March 8th and 9th, when Mercury trined Jupiter. Last one is Mars. This is the best one. Why? Because first of all, Mars is in his visible status as of the 17th of March. He'll rise in your work house. I'll be doing a video on it indicating 2 years of work success and health success. But also, Mars is visible and risen. Jupiter is direct at the top of your sky. Well, it's like good action, prosperous action, fertile, prosperous, expansive, and growth-directed decisions and actions connected to work and career. And it amplifies the volume of your earnings. So all I can say is one long story about amplitude of success in career. Even if you leave a job or a job leaves you, something good and amazing is trying to happen here. So we can see that good action, good decision-making trine happening right here. Mars is in his joy. Jupiter is exalted. His house of his joy here. It's balsamic. No, The moon is now new and fresh, like a fresh start. Work, career, employees, employers, job, money, and earnings. For the rest of the month, two things are happening until the 31st. Saturn will form a sextile to Pluto to stabilize and concretize your long-term, your romantic love and long-term love combinations, to make a solid agreement with one of your children, to stabilize your artistic, entrepreneurial, and creative endeavors, especially as it comes to your marketplace and audience. But also the sun will illuminate things, as the sun will move into Neptune, and anything to do with uncertainty or lack of clarity is no longer true. If you've been uncertain or unclear about dating someone new, is this real or is this Memorex? Is this romance real? Look at that stellium building here. Sun will be here for 1 month, March 20th, at 30 days. Well, now you have the sun shining a light for you to see what's true about the new dating or connection to someone in romance. If you're not doing that, then your marriage gets lit, right? So there's a spotlight in your marriage. And any confusion or uncertainty is all the fog is burned off by the sun with Neptune, and you can see what's real and what's lasting and what's worth your time and attention. And as the sun moves forward and we get to this time frame, the sun will co-join Saturn. Now, this can be really good for your significant other in terms of moving into a new level of authority or power or mastery in their own life, in some area where they need to achieve it. This could be good if you have a partner struggling with sobriety in particular. This is also really good for a significant relationship partner if they are trying to reach some kind or attain some kind of raise, promotion, or new success level in a career. If you are also looking at this in terms of the types of people that'll enter your life, it's really around that time that you could meet somebody that is a guide, healer, mentor, teacher, maybe a female, maybe a mystic, but Saturn Sun can mean they're an expert authority in some area of their own storyline. And they're going to come into your life and they're going to lend some kind of assistance. And in a sextile to Pluto, some kind of transformation around art, creativity, and entrepreneurial success. Like if you're an entrepreneur and you're going to meet somebody who's like a business coach, or they have the secret sauce formula for the best sales funnels, these kinds of experts can enter your story. Be careful a little bit. Saturn's fallen, but the sun is exalted. And that means it's like probably worth looking into if somebody wants to help you with your business or become a business partner on this kind of sky. And remember that when Jupiter goes direct on March the 11th, after being retrograde since November the 11th, your career, well, it may have been doing very well, right? Mars went backwards, like pulling back the drawstring on a bow and arrow. He went backwards in order to deepen the success, the trench of success, right? To go back and plow that soil backwards. And so as he goes forward on March 11th, well, he's in a water sign, but, plumb the depths of the ocean seaboard, floorboard, what do you call it? Seabed. He's going to bring you the best success not seen in 12 years and 12 years before that he can between March 11th and November 30th. So the advice I give you is to go big or go home. Sky's the limit. Take a chance. Trust the process. Reach new heights of professional success at this time. The sky is springboarding you after March the 11th. Thank you for listening, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, recording this on February the 18th. I will see you around. Check my description box for Substack, my Patreon community. Join my members only here on YouTube. I have a lot of perks that no one else gets, including live streams with you guys. All said and done, everything about me is in the description box below the video. Hit the more button, find out more. I'm not doing readings right now. Sorry, I don't have time. I'm writing books, but I may go back to readings in 2027. I will be putting a webpage up on my website of astrologers I recommend, astrologers I can recommend to you. But for now, I am not available. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go to bed. Bye. Bye. Lunatic astrology.